Hey folks, my name is Jen, and I have a problem. What is the problem, you might ask? Well, it's one that is common to most of us. Did I buy more books recently? You bet your britches I did. Yeah, so yep, bought some more books again because I got on a tear of stuff that I was like, I want more information on this, and I want to read this, and I want to do that, and so yeah, so I got a bunch of books again, because again, I have a problem. Now you could say, why don't I just wait and see what else I get this summer and maybe do a book haul then? I would, but I also have a fucking goldfish brain, and I will forget entirely what I got and when I got it, so, yep, we're doing this. We're doing this now. Yeah, we'll go over the first couple, and then what prompted me to film this now is I got the rest of them in the mail today. So, here. First and foremost, I hung out with my family quite recently, and we were talking about meals and family things and whatnot, and my heritage, or part of my heritage, is German. And we were talking about old family recipes my grandmother used to make, recipes that my great-grandparents and stuff used to make, I guess. And I was like, you know what? I have a lot of random cookbooks. I've done a cookbook tour before. You've probably seen some of them are my own, some of them I have inherited from family. Don't actually have a German cookbook, so I was like, might want to do that. So I found on Thrift Books Grandma's German Cookbook, and it has, I've already flipped through it, it has some really tasty looking dishes, and there's especially something in here that's like these potato dumplings. They're called, according to my great aunt, well, it went right out of my head. So that was useful. Yeah, figured, shit, let's look at some dishes. I can say a lot of things that are in here. It's a lot of meats and potatoes and pickled things, and I love all of those. So I think that's going to be pretty fun. I really want to make those potato dumplings because they sound delish. And then other things that I grabbed. I did grab a couple of fictional books amongst the non-fiction that I ended up grabbing. The fictional books I grabbed were Murder in Mesopotamia by Agatha Christie. I believe this has Poirot in it. It says, Nurse Amy Leatherin had a most unusual patient. Louise, according to her husband, celebrated archaeologist Dr. Ledner, suffered from nervous terror. Her fantasies were vivid and horrifying. A disembodied hand, a yellow, dead face pressed against the window. Who or what did she fear? At the site of a dig in the Iraqi desert, surely she was safe from danger. Most of the expedition were old colleagues and friends, yet they seemed an unnaturally formal group. There was tension, uneasiness in the air. Something very sinister was going on, and it involved murder. And I believe this has Poirot in it. And sometimes during the summer, I just fucking want to read an Agatha Christie. And I have already read most of the ones on my shelf. I have a couple within a bind-up that I haven't read yet. But I believe one of them is like a final case of either Poirot or Miss Marple, so I didn't want to read it yet. So I was kind of like, you know what? I had this on my saved favorites list, so I figured I'll read that. And I have a lot of unread Stephen King on my list, but damn it, I added another one. It's Revival, because I was in the mood for religious horror. Aren't we all? Whether we like it or not. So, yeah, this is about a new minister. Oh, let me move the sticker here. I can't quite see it. He comes to Harlow, Maine, when Jamie Morton was a boy, doing battle with his toy army men on the front lawn. The young Reverend Charles Jacobs and his beautiful wife brought new life to the local church and captivated their congregation. With James, he shares a secret obsession, draw so powerful it would have profound consequences 5 decades after the shattering tragedy that turned the preacher against God and long after his final scathing sermon. Now Jamie, a nomadic rock guitarist hooked on heroin, meets Charles Jacobs again, and when their bond becomes a pact beyond even the devil's devising, Jamie discovers that Revival has many meetings. I have heard this one's tough. It's got faith and fanaticism. So that'll be interesting and probably horrifying, and maybe I'm also in the mood for this now. I'm not entirely sure, but look at that cool picture of the man himself on the back cover. Look at that. He's rocking a mustache too. Way to go, sir. Okay. So those are the 2 fiction books, and then I also got a bunch of nonfiction. A subject that I'm interested in but don't know that much about is bears. I love bears. Black bears specifically. I have a tattoo of a black bear. They're my favorite animal ever. I know some random facts about them. I'm really fascinated by them, but I don't actually know all about them. And I'm kind of like, man, I want to learn more about bears. So in that interest, I got some books about bears in general. So the first one is In the Company of Bears: What Black Bears Have Taught Me About Intelligence and Intuition, and this is by Benjamin Kilham. And this is about this guy. He studied a lot of wild black bears. He raised an orphan bear cub, reintroduced her to the wild, welcomed back almost daily to observe her wild world for more than 17 years. He visited her, got to know all of these other like black bears in the community. So I thought, dude, that's really fucking awesome. And it also has lots of cool pictures in here with black bears, and I love them a lot. And this guy's written like more than one book about bears. So I have the Thrift Books packages myself, so hold on for some ASMR that is terrible. Another black bear book is Black Bear: The Spirit of the Wilderness by Barbara Ford. This one is an older book. This one is a little bit more recent. This is an older one from like the 70s or 80s, I believe. And this is more specifically about the black bears at the time. Barbara Ford joined bear researchers in the field and had a chance to observe and photograph their work. And this is an account of the black bear from the first arrival on the North American continent to its present day life in our remaining wilderness. So I thought that's cool. Get like an older take on it, and then also get this more personal, newer. And then get a couple other books. Then got a book about crows as well, because I just listened to a podcast episode about crows and was like, you know what? That is an animal that I want to know more about, because as a kid, I didn't really like crows. I actually kind of found them really creepy. And one of my best friends like loves crows. I think they're one of her favorite animals, and she just really likes them and really thinks they're cool and stuff. And like, I realized fairly recently when my mom was responding to like crows outside that I actually don't know if I'm the one who ever had problems with them as a kid. I'm thinking maybe I soaked up how other people around me felt about crows, and I didn't really have any solid opinion. I just kind of soaked up their opinion. And I'm like, man, I actually want to know more about crows, and I think they're fascinating. And we have some that kind of live around us, and I'd really like to actually get to know them and have a crow army. No, but really, I just think they're cool, and I kind of wanted to get to know them better. And I was like, hey, I want to learn a little bit more about them, I guess. So I got this one that sounded like it was interesting. It is called Crow Planet: Essential Wisdom from the Urban Wilderness by Leanda Lynn Haupt. It talks about a world where crows gather to care for their sick, play in the snow, drop nuts in the road to be cracked open by passing cars, and attend crow funerals. It's a journey of discovery in which crows become our guides, leading us off the pavement into the realms of myth, history, and science, opening our eyes to the deeply relevant question of our own place in the urban wild landscape. Which I thought, well, that's an interesting take on learning more about these animals. So, and then while I was in there, in Thrift Books, checking out, I saw, they have a section that's like, hey, these ones you saved a while ago. And I realized something else I wanted to know more about, something else that I didn't really know that much about, when I saw this book that I had marked as wanting to read, because I heard about it on like, I believe it was like a, podcast, like a bookish podcast episode that I listened to a while back, and it was someone reading the letters of Vincent van Gogh. Like the letter specifically, I think that he wrote to his like brother back when he was around. And I was like, that's cool, I didn't realize those existed. So yeah, I ended up grabbing the letters of Vincent van Gogh. And yeah, these are letters to his brother Theo while he was living, and it also seems like there's a little bit of a memoir that his sister-in-law wrote as well, potentially. And it's got some images of his artwork, and so I got that because I thought, well, that's fascinating. That's a dude that I would like to know more about. And then I also ended up grabbing this bad boy, which interestingly enough, I think I had like an art teacher or somebody growing up that had this exact book, to tell you the truth, because it looks very familiar. But yeah, this is Van Gogh by Rainier Metzger and Ingo F. Walthier, and it's got some information on his paintings, but it's basically just like a huge collection of his works and like some background information. And I honestly love his paintings. He is one of my favorite artists, and Starry Night is a painting that I'm frankly fucking obsessed with. And yeah, so I was like, that would be pretty cool to have some more information about Van Gogh as well, because the little that I know about him has to do with one of my favorite episodes of Doctor Who, as well as just random things that I remember learning in school at varying times, and a little bit of Rick Steves when he covers a little bit of his life and stuff, when he's like talking about places he lived and where his artwork is in like France and stuff. So yeah, that's me getting stuff, mostly nonfiction, which is like insane because nonfiction is the section of my books which has the most unread books in it, basically. But they're all things that I know eventually I'm going to get to, and it helps that they're all tied to things that interest me greatly and stuff that I want to know more about. Love Control, but it's okay. So yeah, guys, I was bad and I bought books again, but you know what? I'm going to consider this saving these from a landfill somewhere, and they are in my home and will be enjoyed greatly whenever I get around to actually reading them. And I've probably fucked my TBR for the summer entirely because some of these I'm way more interested in reading at the moment than other things. But you know what? It's fine. I'm not being held to rules. None of us are being held to reading rules. We're just doing them for shits and giggles. Anyway, yeah, these are the books that I bought. Pretty happy overall with them. Let me know if you have read any of these. If any of these sounds fascinating to you. If you have any books about black bears, crows, or Vincent van Gogh that you think I should read because they are fucking stellar, please let me know. Dear God. I will have more added to my list of things. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for always watching. If you are new here and would like to subscribe, please indeed do so. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.